In the words of the late, great George Carlin, it's a big club and you are not in it. But your elected representation is, depending on what level they're at, really determines how deep they are in it. But at the national level, when you talk about senators and congressmen, yeah, they in the club, they partying, they chilling, what have you. And one seems to have decided to sell a whole bunch of stocks, which, once again, this is a class thing, not particularly a race thing. This is where America really shines, because our class system is far more divided than at that level, at the socioeconomic level. And so Tucker Carlson here is going to explain a little bit of it to us, and I'm going to hop on in when I feel necessary. Let's get to it.
You may have seen the news reports this afternoon. The chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee sold more than $1 million in stock in mid-February after learning how devastating the Chinese coronavirus could be. He had inside information about what could happen to our country, which is now happening, but he didn't warn the public. He didn't give a primetime address. He didn't go on television to sound the alarm. He didn't even disavow an op-ed he'd written just 10 days before, claiming America was, quote, better prepared than ever for coronavirus. He didn't do any of those things. Instead,
yeah, what he did was he looked out for his own best interest and got rid of a whole bunch of stocks. And I don't think that it was particularly due to the pandemic in and of itself. I believe he may have been, it may more be on the tip off that, hey, the media is going to really push this super hard. Because we're talking about right now, I think there's 10,000 deaths across the entire world. Like globally, there's been like 10,000 deaths recorded. And once again, guys, just numbers: 4.5 billion, 10,000. 4.5 billion, 10,000, or in the US where it's like 14,000 confirmed cases, 14,000 to 350 million. So I am thinking that more so than, oh my goodness, the pandemic, like he was more than likely tipped off that the media was going to really push this, because if you know anything about our stock system, right, like the S&P, Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and all that fun stuff, is that it's run basically off of speculation. How much money that, people who we will never know, never see, never speak to, like this class of people who decide like, oh yeah, well, things are going to go great, things are going to go bad. Like this is all based off of, a very select few individuals' whims. So yeah, he figured out that, they really about to push this hard, and with this type of energy coming through, I might as well get rid of some stocks. But that's the same thing that took down Martha Stewart. I mean, like at that level, right? At that class level, they, like they can't get them on regular jaywalking. No, they're going to go after them on, the stocks and exchange and the market and exchanges and the like. So,
what did he do? He dumped his shares in hotel stocks so he wouldn't lose money. And then he stayed silent. Now, maybe there's an honest explanation.
But here's the thing. When it comes to what we're going through in this very moment, there was media coming out about this, particularly from China, for the longest. And they really, like, because I remember seeing like tons of stories about this, including the building that got taken down in China, where they were doing their best to contain it, and they would usher people off to containment sites. And what I'm not, hold on, pause. If it sounds like I'm defending this senator by any stretch of the imagination, I'm not. You knew the rules of the game that you was playing, my guy. All right, and if you didn't, then that's on you. But at the same time, just looking at this from a pragmatic standpoint, whereas how does this affect those at the bottom, such as you and I, the us lower class dregs, it really is a fantastic illustration as to how these types of things play out. Because what we do is we'll lose a lot of context. You'll sit there and see, oh, a senator is getting busted for insider trading, but when you really look at it and you take a firm look at it from the position of, yeah, this is a class thing, you really can start to feel and realize how much you don't know. I think that's probably the big takeaway that I want to put into this video, is that these people are privy to information that me and you will never get. And so they'll do things, and the media will put the spotlight on them, but at the same time, yeah, there's so much underlying things taking place underneath the surface. To whereas, yeah, they probably knew for months how this was going to be pushed. Not that it was coming or that it was happening, because I think we all saw, I don't want to say we all saw, because I don't know what you witnessed, but this was coming down. Like, this was something that, we'd been warned about prior to, all of the pandemic really taking hold. And now you got all these different governments throughout the United States just pressing forward with a lot of, scary legislation and different policies that really just annihilate freedom. And when you ask me if I would prefer freedom or security, I'll take freedom 10 times out of 10, all day, every day. I know a lot of people who are just like, oh, you got to take this seriously. You really got to just like lock down and put yourself in a bubble. You got to be like Bubble Boy. It's like, I'm not going to tell you, once again, I'm not telling you not to trip, right? But at the same time, don't try and convince me to trip. These folks been lying. They've been lying our entire lives. And if you want to keep believing them, God bless you. God bless you. I'm trying to see the forest through the trees, if that makes any type of sense. So with that being said, guys, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like, dislike. Oh, wait, is there any more? Oh, well, there's like a whole minute and some change. Like, not minute, but like 20 seconds left. Let's see what else is in here.
For what he did. If there is, he should share it with the rest of us immediately. Otherwise, he must resign from the Senate and face prosecution for insider trading. There is no greater moral crime than betraying your country in a time of crisis. And that appears to be what happened. We'll have more on the story tomorrow.
But once again, Tucker, I'm just a little confused, because the everything coming out of China, for like prior to this really taking off, it was readily there for your network and everybody else to cover. Like, I was witnessing it on the internet. Memology, he was doing a lot of he did tons of videos on what was taking place in China, and so it's not as if this wasn't something that, nobody could have seen coming. No. This has been talked about, like, at least online for a while before all of this took place, took hold. So, I mean, like, hit him on insider trading, yeah, definitely, because it was still a dick move. But as far as, what he withheld from the United States population, I am more aligned with, hey, this was something like we all could have, I saw coming. So, not that, well, pause. I didn't see the push for pandemic coming from the media the way that it has, but like, I did see the Chinese, a lot of the reports coming out of China at the time. So if I saw it as just some regular schmuck who likes to dilly around on the internet, I know that you, ABC, MSNBC, all the other ones, CNN, all you guys had to have seen it as well. So, I mean, the bell could have been rung on this a while ago. It really could have. But at the same time, I'm like, what bell? Because just not, guys, numbers, 10,000 deaths, 4.5 billion people. Just saying. So now, with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you like it, toss it a like, dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub. If you enjoy my fantastic voice and you want to get videos like this every single day, share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and BitChute and like aren't the biggest fans of your boy over here for very obvious reasons. Bang the bell for notifications and speak. Let me know. What do you guys think in the comments? we are where we are with this entire thing. I actually, somebody, JT, you dropped a really fantastic quote, which is like, it's like we're pressing the reset button on America. like America's pressing a reset button, and it feels like that in many ways. We'll see how we come out. This is day by day, and as somebody who makes videos every single day, then I'm finding it hard to avoid this topic altogether. But at the same time, yeah, I always want to keep it in perspective. I want to keep some type of perspective there for you. And if you don't appreciate it, I get it. I get it. But that's what I have a comment section for. All right. So until the next one.